bless you. Thank you for joining us. Let's see, I think that mic was not working. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you for joining us here at the Temple of Clarity on March 6, 2018. What a warm summer day we had. It was such a beautiful day. And a few minutes before we started playing music here in the temple to get invite the angels and the masters into the room, we played the Parsifal, and almost magically, almost on cue, the masters and the angels were just filling this room with light. And I'm sure everybody here feels it, because I sure do. Anyways, let's start the meditation, a short meditation, and then we can have any kind of discussion we want. And light the candle. And welcome those of you who are new. And welcome to you on the broadcast. So let's just kind of like form a little circle here in front of two cosmic beings, Sanat Kumara and Lady Master Venus, beloved Jesus, Mother Mary, Kuan Yin, all the masters and the saints. And stand tall under the light of your own vine and fig tree, because you came from that light. You came from heaven. You know what it's like. You can feel it in your bones. There is a beauty, a glorious, holy, sacred energy that we remember in our souls, in our spirits. And we travel in this world of dreams and illusion with the news and movies portraying what we're not. But we remember the truth, and we can tell from the lie. Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, Spirit of the living God, we invite all the masters and the angels of light and love and truth and beauty and goodness to come into this room, and we invite you to assist us in the highest and the best way possible for each of our souls here and on the broadcast. I call to the Holy Spirit to move and to breathe the breath of life in each one here, and the remembrance of their own life in heaven, in spirit, in joy, in the eternal now. Touch each one with the living fire of eternal love. Thank you. Just a couple of pointers before we start. It is by your free will you can choose to open the spiritual door. You have to go within and choose this hour to allow the light to merge with the light, to shine your light. Once you have chosen, the angels and the masters will work with you. In this meditation, we are going to create a bubble of light. And how we do that is through complete stillness. Stillness of body, stillness of mind. Once the body is still, the mind will calm. And look out the spiritual eye and turn on your antennas for the what will be happening in this room when we are completely still, when the masters and the angels come. Keep very present. Keep very alert. You don't want to miss it. They are so anxious to come and bless us, to show us something new, something beautiful, something holy, something that you will remember about where you originally came from, beyond time and space. Beyond the beyond, you lived, loved, and shone like the sun, like the stars in heaven. So for a few moments, exercise your will, set your determination, go deeper and deeper into the knowing of that light. So let's come back. Gently find yourself in this room again. Keep your eyes closed. Imagine this room as being transported out into some place in the universe. Where we can witness everything that's happening here on earth. And we step out of time, and we step out of space, and we can see our own lives. Almost disconnected to all the problems and concerns of what's happening. And observe your life from this timeless perspective. And know that everything is going to be okay. That there is a loving Father, Mother, God that you are loved, cared for, and rest in that knowing. And surround yourself with that love that is shining like the sun all around you, all the time. That there are angels following you around. Always looking for ways to bless you, to give you joy. Now from that place outside time and space, look and see the earth and everyone on it. And we're going to chant Om, and we're going to send our love and light, not only to ourselves, but to everyone on earth. Now see yourself as the sun in the middle of the galaxy with all the planets spinning around you. And you are the love, you are the light that gives life to the planet. And we're going to send love and light to everyone in our orbits, all of our family members, everyone who is in our circles. Oh. lastly, that there is another sun in the center of the galaxy that we are a part of many, many suns, billions of suns, all shining and chanting Om in unison to our Father, Mother, God. Let's send Father, Mother, God our voice, our song, our love. Thank you. Welcome back to Earth. I hope you had a cosmic journey. The Temple of Clarity here is part of the Heart Center community and movement. The Heart Center is located right now in Livingston, Montana, with a living messenger, David Christopher Lewis, who is the spokesperson for the Universal Brotherhood and Sisterhood of Light, the Great White Brotherhood. We have a mission statement and a vision statement, and I'll just share it with you. Within our Heart Center community, we realize personal enlightenment through our higher self and share the Ascended Master teachings and our love wisdom throughout the earth. Our vision is to live in sustainable, golden crystal age communities in joy and in harmony with Mother Nature, using solar sciences of the Spirit. We radiate light and we live in love as one. So that's a mission statement and a vision statement of what could possibly be in the golden age. When Gautama Buddha was enlightened under the Bodhi tree, he was by himself, and Brahma asked him to go teach. And he didn't have to teach. He could have just gone into nirvana and left everyone to fend for themselves. But he wanted to share what he discovered. And he didn't say, I am God, or I'm a this or that. He said, I am awake. I am awake. And his teaching is about being awake. Awake to not only the suffering of this world, but also to who he is eternally. Having seen through the Maya, the illusion of time and space, he had a clear, beautiful understanding of reality as it truly is. The Ascended Masters teach us that we are these light emanations that took these physical bodies. And some of us have gotten trapped in karmic cycles of re-embodiment, and now we're in a cycle, a karmic cycle, where we're all graduating from this planet. And we consider this earth a school ground where we learn to work with energy, light specifically. Everything is a vibration, a color, a frequency. Love, anger, joy, sadness. Everything has a vibration and energy. And when we learn to master our energy and emanate only the higher frequencies of the divine virtues of the masters and the saints, east and west, then we can progress. We graduate. We get our diploma. We move on. We go to higher worlds, more beautiful places. So the Ascended Masters are actually those who have graduated from planet Earth, like Saint Germain, like beloved Jesus, Mother Mary. They all have ascended. And that's the ascending cycle that we are all in time and space right now. And all we have to do is just choose to awaken, like the Buddha. Choose to catch that light beam that is ascending with, and hitch a ride. Grab a ride with them. Jesus said, you know, because I go on to the Father, He's going to prepare a room for us. And it made it easier for us to ascend. When Saint Germain ascended, the same thing happened. And now we have a whole beautiful family of ascended masters and angels and cosmic beings that are all pulling us up. It's so easy. So much easier than it was 100 years ago. It's so different, the earth, right now, than it was 100 years ago. So completely different, night and day. We couldn't talk about this 100 years ago. We would be burned at the stake, or, you know, something worse, you know, tortured until we joined whatever religions out there that were the king or the queen that owned us. I mean, we were the property of the king, so if he was one religion, we'd have to be that religion. You didn't have a choice. So it's to think about how far we've come. So the Ascended Masters want to remind us, almost in their every message that they give us, that there is this ascending spiral that's taking place. Choose to get on it. Prepare yourself. It's a fun ride, and good things will happen. With that, I will pass the mic to Boris, who will share with us anything that's on his mind. And I'll work on the other mic.
So, as Dennis was saying, awakening of Buddha and everything that's connected with awakening, the first exercise in Panurhythmia is awakening, and that's awakening to the divine source. When you awake that you're something beyond your own ego, you start being something, that you start living for the whole of the community. Then you don't have to worry about yourself. If you think and do the things that are to serve the community, you don't have to worry about yourself, because the community will help you and they'll take care of you. You just take care of the community, they take care of you. So that's the golden crystal communities that Dennis was saying with the mission. I really like that, because we can, if we live in the community, as long as you give your skills and share your gifts with the community, they'll take care of you. Just share that. So instead of being selfish, what's in for me always, I'm always unhappy or whatever. Just be happy of giving out freely from the heart, and that's gonna, the community will take care of you. So that's the awakening to the divine, the awakening to the world of light and love and truth and all that. So that's one thing that like kind of resonated when he was mentioning the awakening. And then there is an event that I'm going to be designing a flyer for, and that's Awakening Tribe. That's going to be happening soon. So it's all about awakening. Yeah, and awakening to the solar energies, and awakening to the spirit, and also I promote is the solar lifestyle. So this is basically connecting to the sun and be powered by the sun on all levels. with the sun gazing meditation, breathing. Then the panurhythmy is the sun dance meditation. I'll be doing it this Saturday. I may move the time a little earlier because it looks like it may be raining later around 4 o'clock, so I might do like 2 o'clock. But I'll be teaching on Moonlight Beach. That's a practice very powerful in a circle. So this is like the different areas of being powered by the sun, by essential oils, by, now those crystals that gather the sunlight and they emanate it. That's really powerful. The lithium crystals that Dennis has. So there's like so many different levels of being, if you have in your own garden the greens and you just take care of them, they're still alive. They absorb the photons of the sunlight, and when you eat them, you just or make it into a juice. You just drink that sunlight, the concentrated sunlight, into your body. So that's really powerful. Another way of going and connecting with the sun. And then you have the concentrated sunlight in the plants is in the form of essential oils. That's even more potent. Like 1 drop of, let's say, peppermint will equal 28 cups of tea, So it's like an extra powerful essential oil. Frankincense is great for meditation. And then we can power our homes by the sunlight, because now we have technology with the photovoltaic technology that you can convert the sunlight into electricity that we can actually use and power our homes. And soon, when we have electric cars, you charge the car from the sun, and then you drive 350 miles range. That's more than enough. You charge the night like a phone, and you just never have to go to the gas station anymore. So you basically drive on pure sunshine with no pollution, and you just produce your energy in a clean way. So it's a very beautiful future that we are stepping into. I'm really happy that this is happening right now in this world, and anybody can benefit from that. Yeah.
It all starts with the sun.
It all starts with grateful for that abundant energy that is given. And actually the sun is the physical sunlight, but also there is a Videlina, which means the spiritual sunlight. There is like the sun behind the sun. There is like the spiritual sun that is inspiring us. And especially important in the morning. For sunrise, you get the inspiration. At sunset, you're actually giving the earth is negative, so it's giving out the energy. Anything that doesn't serve you anymore, you can give it to the sun. But in the morning, you receive. So there's like the two.
So that's the difference.
That's the difference between in the evening you give.
You give,
and basically the whole earth gives, and you can give with the earth as well. Yeah. Do you have any questions? Or maybe you can introduce. My name is Boris.
Say your name. Well, I'm Pat. I don't have anything to say, but maybe next time.
Okay, you can say your name, Pat.
Yeah, you can say your name. I did, Pat.
Yeah, Pat.
Okay. I enjoyed everything that I've heard so far, most definitely. And I'm very... my transition is somewhat new. After going through a journey of being guided, well, I was guided through the journey of just moving all my wounds from all of my earthly experiences out and clearing to make way for a different type of frequency. And as I was guided through that process, just so much has changed. Now I feel like I'm looking out of a new set of eyes, and everything that you shared resonates, especially with the energy of the sun and what you shared with the ascended masters. That's my understanding too. Is they are also beings that were, in human experiences that had transcended the ego and that suffering and reconnected to their divinity, their eternal, their higher being, and that vessel of knowledge that comes with it. And it has been a very exciting journey, and I'm excited to develop a stronger connection with more of my origin of origins, I guess. I feel like there's been a lot of different stops throughout various places aside from Earth, and I'm just wanting to really try and remember a little bit further than all the way. And so I was, through the meditation, just trying to kind of focus on remembering, and I got an interesting image, but I can't really put my finger on it exactly to describe, but and then I just asked for guidance in general and during the meditation, and the only thing that came very clearly to me was make sure you're using that higher frequency energy when you're observing others. See them for their absolute highest potential, their beauty, and so I think from this meditation, I'm just going to take that with me and make sure that I'm really focusing on, when I do observe people in my everyday life, that I am seeing them for their absolute love and their light, and not for the illusion, not for the wounds, not for all that stuff that I know all about. So, and then just continue to be guided. So this is all very new for me.
It reached the destination.
I'm Daniel Divine, or Swami Dayashankar, and I'm glad to be here in the presence of the Ascended Masters and the Grand Central Son of all. Had a wonderful call today. I connected Swami John with Carrie Francis of the Earth Nation, and we're sort of creating a community there on on this town called Ava in Missouri.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know much about it other than that. I guess I have to do some research, but it's Earth Nation, or the Tribe of Awakening Sovereignty, if you want to look it up. And but it's kind of in the forming stages, so just send us light and love. You know, it's the Ascended Master's work, and it'll happen however it happens. That's what happened today. And also, Nassim Haramayan was in town recently. And,
But he lives here.
He lives here?
Yeah, he lives like 5 minutes from me. I know his house. He's in the Costa, very close.
Okay, so he's here now, so there we go.
Yeah, but he was in Encinitas on Friday, yeah.
Yeah, so I also met my Facebook friend Elizabeth Trutwin, who's actually a walk-in. I don't know how many of you know much about walk-ins, but it was interesting having a conversation with her, and she's been like Nassim's like PR person that he never even knew, you know, and so he got to meet her, and I kind of introduced them, so that was kind of interesting. Nassim's been my friend for many years.
Yeah.
And And she's working with some gentlemen in China, something big also, and might be connected to what we're doing. And one other thing that's really important is with Swami John, and this is also connected with Shirley MacLane's beachfront home. We might have a clinic there as well. It's a cellular detox clinic, and it's also a scalar energy research center. And what we're dealing with is state-of-the-art scalar energy devices that we want to gift all of the awake to send through all of Earth's surface ley lines, which will bring up everyone's subconscious stuff to be seen, like you're talking about. And it will kind of cause everyone to awaken.
We're in a process of massive awakening right
even
now.
without saying a
Like
word.
everybody. What is it?
So is that the scalar? Is that an energy?
Scalar energy.
What is that for?
Scalar energy, let me see how I can explain scalar energy. Well, it's zero-point field energy, which is like in the primordial state, everything is, let's say, the torus field. Are you familiar with torus? Okay, so torus field is, there's a spin, but there is also that movement that goes up and down. So when we start spinning, we're creating a special vortex space, and then it creates a torus field, and then everything starts spinning. Even in paneurythmy, when we start counterclockwise spinning and turning, we're creating a torus field that goes up in the air and then goes into the center and then goes all around. But the bigger the circle, the more the impact. So it's a powerful blessing for the whole earth, and we're doing it with emotion, with like the largest crop circle in Bulgaria on the 19th, 20th, 21st of August. There's like 3,000 people doing it all at once. So that's huge when you get massive awakening, massive sending love, light, and there's like all those different ideas expressed through movements with music, and music is very powerful unification of everybody. You can see that emotion together with all that movement. It's a very powerful, it's a sacred geometry, it's a tone, it's the music, it's the emotion, it's the spiritual principles. You go from love towards truth, from wisdom towards truth. There's like so many different principles. The whole teaching is basically in 45 minutes you can just go through it. It's like a key, like to enter the heavenly world. So it's very, very powerful stuff. And I'm teaching that on Saturday. So if anybody wants to learn more, I'm happy to share. On Moonlight Beach.
How exactly is that connected with the scalar?
Oh, how is that connected? Well, sorry, I got a little bit thrown off, but it is still all those devices that are working with the scalar energy, they're still tapping into that 0-point field. So in Nassim Haramein, he's talking about that basically everything is like a big black hole on all levels, from the highest to the low to the smallest parts, and basically everything has 99.99% of all that mass, we have it in the proton. Even the proton it's like a mini black hole. And he's explaining actually how those super forces that they work on a very low level, like on a microscopic level, on the quantum level. Einstein was not able to figure it out, and most of the physicists, they think, oh, there's like another force that's holding things together, and then there's another force, and they cannot figure it out what it is, so they give it another name. But he actually was able to calculate very precisely what is that amount, and how those, there's a force that is attracting, but there's also, when you get too close, that's repulsing, and so it's the perfect equilibrium. So it's not too close or not too far away. So it's keeping it together. And for me, also, the master is saying that everything that holds together in the universe is love. So the love is that force that holds everything together. But love as a principle, not just the people that think love for humans. There's many different levels of love, and there's different levels of divine knowledge.
Some people say, I love apples.
Yeah, like apples, or love apples. Like,
there's a higher love.
There's many different. When there's that divine love, and then there is like a lower level of which is like more of a animal instincts than real divine love. So there's like different levels. So basically what we're dealing with is we're connecting quantum physics with deep esoterics, and everything is merging together in a way. So scalar energies, to go back to the scalar energies, those are the energies that they start, when you tap into that, they how can I explain it the best way? When you tap into that, you can basically produce, there's like, there are devices that are able to tap into that unified field, and they can extract a large amount of energy. So once you be able to tap into that and extract that energy, that means you can be able to travel anywhere in the universe, basically. We're surrounded we're swimming with so much energy around us. I mean, what we're doing with the sun is like nothing compared to when we get to the next level, when we get the breakthroughs of using that type of scalar energy and zero-point energy devices. That actually there's a device that a guy named John Searle, he invented in the 40s and the 50s. It's called ACG, Searle Effect Generator, and he was able to tap into that zero-point fields. And basically, once you start drawing a lot of power, it creates like a field around itself after you get more than 15 kilowatts of power, and then actually levitates and starts flying. So first time he did that, they started drawing too much, it went to the roof. So okay, I'm gonna make a bigger device. Guess what? It went through the roof. So he had to give it a body and so it's a very interesting his story. There's like a whole movie they made about him, John Searle's story. They actually put him in prison because he was powering the whole house, and they couldn't figure out how he was powering the whole house. They thought he's stealing energy from the electrical company in Britain. So it's a very interesting story, and they're trying to recreate his device now here in San Diego. It's a very, very, very interesting how everything is going to turn out. But I believe that we're going to be, like maybe 5-10 years or whenever, we'll be able to tap into those energies and be able to be on a whole different level of spiritual, with abundance. If we have abundance of energy, we can desalinate water. That means there'll be plenty of drinkable water for the whole planet. You can have as much energy to transport yourself anywhere on the planet very quickly. You don't need roads anymore because you can just fly. And it will be a very different system. We don't even need to have any money, because if we have enough resources and we have the technology, we can be living in abundance. We don't need to have the old system will crash eventually very quickly, because it's created out of debt, and eventually we all 3-4 Earths already we owe to ourselves. It's like crazy the amount that it's not sustainable. This is a model that is consumerism. Consumerism is not sustainable.
So I don't know if I should share this or not, but because it's kind of exposing all this. How many of you know Sasha Stone from the New Earth Nation? Do any of you
I know him.
Okay.
I've seen him at the Breakthrough Energy Conference in Boulder, Colorado, 2014.
He's been talking to a lot of political leaders, and he's exposing everything. You know, he's getting them to see the whole system as it is, instead of, you know, all these stories they feed us. That he exposed it as it is. He tells them exactly what's going on, and he says it in a loving way.
Yeah.
So that's very interesting, and he's being accepted. They're not killing him or whatever.
So far,
which is
that's
amazing.
good.
Yeah, so far. And then the other thing is, I recently refriended Adam Trombley. I don't know how many of you know him, but he's another free energy inventor like Searle. But the U.S. government put him under gag order. I don't know if I should be speaking about this. And so it was an interesting conversation that we had over Facebook, because we know they're watching our conversations. So what are we going to say? You know, it's like, and yet we say it in a way that helps them awaken as well. We're not really afraid of anything, but at the same time, we can't really tell them everything that we're doing, because they don't need to know.
Actually, in our days, it used to be. It used to be when you're more secretive about something, they can basically take you away and nobody will know about you because you never shared anything with the world and you just disappeared. But if you actually have a big lab with all those cameras showing to the world what you're doing, and like thousands of people are watching your work every time,
And then send it out to all your friends so
and,
they kill you.
so they see what's happening. So if they come and try to get you out, everybody will see it in the whole world, broadcast it in real time what's happening. So actually, it's better to broadcast than not broadcast. That's what I believe in nowadays. That actually gives you more protection if you broadcast to more people every day than if you don't broadcast at all. And you're broadcasting good stuff. You're not broadcasting bad stuff.
This is a funny thing too, because I'm sharing this now, but in a way we, in the Ascended Masters teachings, we normally don't share until everything sort of comes together.
Yeah.
And then, so I don't know what to say on that. I think maybe even that's shifting a little bit.
Well, they say that if you want to have something to happen, you don't have to talk about it, but just do it.
Mm-hmm.
But also, in what I just said is also true that if you want to be protected in the mass, you want to be open. And now is the time that to be more open than be hiding. More and more people are stepping up and helping the enlightenment of the planet and mass awakening. So I think that the more we share, the better it is. So we don't have to be afraid, because the ones that you're be afraid, they're just very few.
And
They
also,
cannot do
if
so
you're
much.
Afraid, you're doing it to yourself.
Yeah, and actually, when you're afraid, that's not a good feeling. Choose love or fear. It's better to go with the love than fear, right? So I think that's what
You
we should be.
never hide, or but
And hiding from what? Hiding from what?
So it was an interesting conversation that we had, to say the least.
There is nothing to hide, It's actually, if you're doing something good for the planet and for humanity, you should share with more people. That's what I believe.
So I did. I'm also shared with him what we're doing in Baja, and we're getting ready to finally leave for Cabo, in a couple of weeks or whatever. But now I might also give some satsangs at Shirley MacLaine's home, or
Okay.
something like that, if that opens up. But that's not for sure now, because the people that are involved with that, they're going through a divorce or something. So who knows what's actually going to happen and how soon and all that. And
Yeah.
I don't want to stay here too much longer. So if it doesn't open up soon, I'm just going to go there, and the money and everything will just come like it always does, magically, from the right people at the right time.
Yes,
And also
trust.
I'll meet, I'm also going to go to Baja Biosana, which this is good for everyone to look at. Baja Biosana, it's perhaps the best food forest eco-village on Earth's surface today. It's about 30 acres, and they've got maybe 60 varieties of bananas, and just about everything you can imagine there. And so that's where we're going to gather our seeds and everything for the new place that we're starting in our saplings and so forth, and then take it there to create a nursery. And then, since there's a lot of rock, we may even have to use some dynamite. I don't know how it's all going to unfold, and also, this is a little bit pushing the limits of what everyone's used to, because I think people have an idea that that's kind of a retreat center. But the Rinpoche has given us permission to turn it into a food forest eco-village, and now the question is how will that actually happen, and I haven't even found the right people that are in charge, so I'm just going to show up and see what happens.
There are many permaculture people that I know that are really knowledgeable how to build those food forests and all that, so I can connect you with some if you need. And actually, there's something happening very close to us here in Ecotopia, the Valley Center. They're gonna be having the first meeting, setting up the rules. So they're creating a very amazing village. They have already on that land has a lot of fruit trees, like oranges, lemon trees, avocados, plenty of food already. The acres of land, so they're going to build the buildings where they're going to live, and it's
Awesome.
The first 12 people going to live there, and they're going to set the rules, basically what's acceptable, what's not acceptable, you know, the ground rules.
Our other plan is to actually gift people 1 hectare of this land. It's
Okay.
3,600 hectares. But
That's
we
a lot,
have to
yeah.
awaken them before we give them the land.
Mhm.
Otherwise, it turns into another Los Angeles,
Yeah, yeah.
Mumbai, or
Well, I
Mexico
think the
City.
people that will be attracted to this place will be people that are awakened already.
Exactly. Yeah, and we can't even work with them unless they are, because they can't see it, they can't understand it, and they just will feel uncomfortable because we really do operate on a completely different frequency. It's not that we don't love them or we're ignoring them, but we just don't see what they see. We don't see the world like they see it.
We want to see more communities popping up that show up how it's working and what's working, so then other people can replicate what's working rather than
Yeah,
what's
of
not
course.
working.
So
Even
we're-
the heart center, you know, the mission, if you just state that, is, I love that sentence of like the crystal light communities and all that. God, yeah, that, and he's talking, David Lewis, all the time about anesthesia and permaculture. He did quite a few workshops in his land in Montana. So I attended two of his events. So it's really, really helpful, you know. So I think many people are shifting from like being in the city life into those
And that's
permaculture
exactly-
communities,
that's exactly
eco
what we're
villages.
doing. It's like Anastasia's vision.
Anastasia.
But it's not
Anastasia.
really her vision. It's how we used to live in the
Yeah.
ancient Vedic culture, but she remembers it so clearly and is able to
Mhm. To show it to us, awaken
Yeah.
it again.
But it's even deeper than that, and I guess we're all going to realize that on our own, and it's all going to be intuitive. It's not going to be something we can really teach other
Mhm.
people. I know we try to do that, but it doesn't really work. Everyone has to see it for themselves. But what we can do is hold that space, and that's what we want to do in our places. We want everyone to work alongside the awake trainers as we co-create the Food Forest Eco Village, and they'll just get it all intuitively. We won't even tell them what to do. Maybe we'll hint at things, I don't know, but everyone will kind of pick it up. You know, the whole idea is for everyone to be that in tune that they kind of know what to do. That they feel that it's their land, it's that this is their school, that everyone's doing this together, that it's actually yours, it's not somebody else's. Because in fact, we want everyone to realize there's nobody here, there's nobody else. There's only this one, and we're all it, but we have to be coming from that place and see that in everyone. We have to see God in everyone, otherwise we forget we're God.
And then there have to be some practices that unite the community. So it's not just by themselves, but certain practices that do it together. And one of those practices can be singing together. So that's a very powerful unification. And also dancing panurhythmy is an amazing practice of everybody doing it in the morning. So they get together, they do the same thing, and then they go and inspire with that energy.
Another beautiful story, yes, I agree with you, and I'm going to talk to you as well about this, because I do also group soul work and
Mhm.
stuff like that, which is probably what you're doing with
Panurhythmy.
panurhythmy. But actually, the Rinpoche, everything that has happened on this Sagelgar Westland has all happened through lucid dreams, including him having a vision that somebody would give him the land and putting that word out.
Mhm.
And then this band comes from England and buys it, and they find Gabriel from the Seeds of Change, who flies over the land with a helicopter, and they decide this is the piece of land they want. But I think all of it happened through lucid dreams. And then he also, the Rinpoche also had a lucid dream about this Vajra song and dance that he channeled, which is probably very, very similar, if not identical, to panrhythmics. And his mandala that they do the dance on, that he channeled, looks like a 2D representation of my three-dimensional floating crystal mandala garden island, which is like my vision of New Jerusalem when I was 6 years old. So, which is my life's work, actually, but most people aren't ready for it, so I'm not talking.
And John Searle was having recurring dreams for many, many, many years. He couldn't understand what those were.
Who?
John Searle, the one that invented that
Oh.
device.
Uh-huh.
So he was like having like for like the last 10 years that dream what was happening with all those spinning magnets and all that. He couldn't realize what was those fires and this and that. And later on, when he became 14 years of age, an awakening when we start studying the electrical systems and this and that, he understood what the dream was about. So he actually was able to recreate it
Is that in the movie too?
yeah, it's in the movie. It's very powerful. But it all started with recurring dreams. Dreams. He couldn't get it in the beginning. But finally now he knows it
Yeah,
and
like when I
he
was
can
6
give it to
years
the
old,
people.
I had no idea what this was, but one thing that did happen is it made such an impression on me that I could never forget it until until the downloads or whatever came, that what it actually is, you know, and what I'm supposed to do with it, or what it really is, you know.
So I think we'll continue this conversation, but we're going to close the session on the broadcast. So I know there's a lot of good things going to happen in the future for the Earth, and I'm looking forward to it. And every time we do something good, every time we visualize somebody in a good light and do something good, we're raising the planet. And every time we emanate peace and choose peace over fear or over anything else, or love over fear, we're raising the planet. And that can give us joy too, because knowing that we're helping in a little way. Eva, do you want to do the bell thing now? And then we'll blow out the candle? Eva's been practicing. So let's just close our eyes, and she's going to do this little bell and feel the energy. Yeah, crystal bowl. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We'll have some hot tea and some snacks, some figs and stuff. Thank you for joining us. Tomorrow we'll be doing Mother Mary Rosary and Yogananda's Healing Prayer. And that's Wednesday. Then Thursday is Kuan Yin's Rosary of Mercy for the Earth, for saving the Earth. And first thing I read this morning was that North Korea, Kim Jong-un, has decided that he's open now to stop testing nuclear bombs, and that he's open to discussions now. And so, you know, our prayers matter. The masters and the angels, once we align with them, use us like crystals to speak words of love to humanity and in time and space. And when we pray, aligned with the greater good that the masters and the angels and the Christ and Almighty Father, Mother God has, we're speaking with a power that changes for the good this planet. So remember to do your morning prayers, and when you go to bed at night, don't just drift off into unconsciousness. purposely leave your body out the Christ center. Repeat your mantra, repeat a positive affirmation. Ask the angels to take you to the etheric temples of light where they will talk to us and teach us some of these divine truths about divine energy, about using solar sciences of the spirit. And as we all grow, everybody in our family will be blessed, and everybody in our communities, in our cities, in our countries, and the world will all be changed for the good, for the better. God bless you, everybody online. We're going to sign off. Thank you for joining us, and see you tomorrow at 7:30. Bye for now.